We had a record number of trades today that happened in the 2025 NFL trade deadline. I'm going to give you grades for every single team and every single trade that happened today. Before I do that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of NFL content. We have 2026 and 2027 NFL mock drafts, NFL picks against the spread, NFL power rankings. We grade every signing, we grade every trade, like you can see on the screen here. It's all at walterfootball.com, and it's all free. So come check us out, walterfootball.com. All right, so going to get to these trades here and go in reverse chronological order outside of one thing here, which I'll explain why in a second. So we have the Chargers getting Trevor Penning from the Saints for a 2027 sixth-round pick. So this makes sense for the Chargers because they lost Joe Alt for the year, so they need a tackle. Now, Trevor Penning used to be a tackle. He got moved to guard. Still not very good. So I don't know if this is a good plan for the Chargers. They're kind of desperate. I gave them a B minus. I don't see this fixing the issue, but giving up just a sixth-round pick in 2027, not a big deal. So it's worth a shot. With the Saints, it's a better deal because while Penning was traded or Penning was started, he's it's good to get something for him because like really he was not a good starter for the team. So why not salvage something for him? So I gave the Saints a B plus. A big trade that happened. The Cowboys got Quinnen Williams from the Jets for a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and Mozzie Smith. I was going to make fun of the Cowboys for giving up 2 first-round picks because I thought that's what the compensation was going to be. So we just saw Sauce Gardner get the same compensation from the Colts. But Quinnen Williams was traded for less. Second rounder instead of first is a big deal. Mozzie Smith, he's a bust, so not really a factor. A lot of people are criticizing the Cowboys here for a couple of reasons. One, Williams has a big contract, but the cap is fake. Let's just we have Kenny on our show, a live stream every Wednesday. He runs the capisfake.com. The cap is not real as long as the owner wants to spend money. It really isn't. So if Jerry Jones wants to spend money, and I assume he does because he's not too far removed from being in the nursing home, it's a win now for him, and so I think he's going to want to spend the money. So from one factor, that's fine. The other thing people are criticizing that the Cowboys shouldn't be buyers. And I agree with that. I think they're a good team. They're 3-5-1, probably not going to make the playoffs. They could sneak in, but probably not. But here's the thing. So this is, I think, a trade for next year. The Cowboys have 2 first-round picks in 2026. So they're going to be able to add some talent. Quinnen Williams is going to come on, be a dominant force for them next year. And, they also trade for another linebacker, Logan Wilson. Talk about that in a bit. But, with these 2 new defensive players, I think this is going to set them up nicely. And, they finally get to solve this defensive tackle issue that they've had for a long time. So this is kind of like, when the Bears got Montez Sweat. They weren't buyers, but it was for next season, and they were just trying to get ahead of the curve in the offseason. So I like this trade for the Cowboys. Gave them an A, not quite an A plus, but it was a really good trade. I thought the Jets a D. So I'll save the Jets. I'll save my rant for the Jets when I talk about Sauce Gardner. The Ravens got Draymond Jones from the Titans for a conditional 5th-round pick. This is the one pick that's out of order because I missed it on Monday somehow. But the Ravens got Draymond Jones. Draymond Jones has been awesome this year. He dominated the Chargers last week. The Ravens needed defensive line help because Nnamdi Madubuike has been out, so getting a replacement, short-term replacement is a logical move. So I gave the Ravens an A plus. Giving up a conditional 5th-round pick is almost like really nothing because Draymond Jones is going to be a free agent. If he signs somewhere else, I assume he will. Why not? The Ravens are going to get a compensatory pick, probably in the 5th round or maybe the 6th. So they're just going to get their pick back. So this is a great move by the Ravens. But the Titans, they're having a fire sale. Not a surprise that Draymond Jones was moved. I was kind of surprised Tony Pollard wasn't traded either, or Calvin Ridley. But Draymond Jones getting something for him is a good move for the Titans. Gave him a B plus. All right, Chicago got Joe Tryon-Shoyinka from the Browns for a late round swap, 6th and 7th. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka used to be a first-round pick. He was Joe Tryon back then. I don't know where the Shoyinka came from, but ever since he added Shoyinka, it just seems like his career has gone downhill. Maybe you should cut that last name. So Tryon-Shoyinka, in theory, might be able to strengthen the Bears' pass rush. They are dead last. The Bears are in pressure rate. Problem is he hasn't played more than 7 snaps all year. Now, he's a former first-round pick. Maybe he'll pan out. I don't think he will, but it could happen. Crazier things have happened. But not too many crazier things. So let's face it. So I'm not too happy about this trade for the Bears. I give it a B plus. Like, they didn't give up anything. Like, why not make the move? I think the Browns won this trade because they weren't really using him. So I gave him an A minus. Seahawks got Rashid Shaheed from the Saints for 4th and 5th round picks. So usually when you see receivers traded in midseason, those trades tend to not work out, at least in the short term, because it's hard for receivers to adjust on the fly, learn a new system. This is different, though, because Rashid Shaheed played for Clint Kubiak with the Saints last year. Clint Kubiak now the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. So it's going to be a seamless transition. And the Seahawks needed a second receiver because Cooper Kupp's decrepit. Torrey Horton has shown potential. He's only a rookie. So they needed a veteran, a receiver here to play across the JSN. So I like this move a lot for the Seahawks. I gave him an A plus, slam dunk move. For the Saints, I gave him an A because Shaheed's going to be entering free agency. There's no guarantee it was stuck around. So they're going to get more for him now than they would have in compensatory. So I gave the Saints an A. It's a really good trade for both teams. Here's the other Jets trade. The Colts got Sauce Gardner from the Jets for 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell, former second-round pick, but hasn't really lived up to it. In fact, like his most known play was when he dropped the ball shy of the goal line to cost the Colts a possible win against the Rams. But anyway, the Colts get Sauce Gardner here. He gets to erase half the field for the Colts. Like, the Colts offense has been awesome this year. Their pass rush is great. Run defense is solid, but their secondary has been a mess. Now it's not. They got Sauce Gardner. I don't know when Travarius Ward is due back, but he's going to help eventually. So, and then they have Kenny Moore in the slot. So once they get everyone healthy, their cornerbacks are going to be really good, and that'll go well with their pass rush. So I love this trade for the Colts. I gave them an A plus. 2 first-round picks sounds like a lot, but they weren't going to get anyone as good as Sauce Gardner for their first-round picks, considering this year's pick is going to be in the 20s, or who knows, maybe in the 30s. So it's unlikely that they're going to get a Sauce Gardner type of player then. And then next year, who knows? So I love this trade for the Colts. They're going all in. It's a great move. For the Jets, I don't understand what they're doing. Now, getting all these first-round picks is nice, but they're not guaranteed to be anything. What if they whiff on most of these picks? We saw, for example, the Raiders. They had a bunch of first-round picks in the Gruden/Mayock era, and they whiffed on almost all of them. If the Jets whiff on most of these picks, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL for a very long time. And I saw a meme today, it's the Peter Griffin meme, where he gets to decide between a boat and a box. And he says, there could be anything in this box, even a boat. It feels like that's the same thing here for the Jets. These first-round picks could be anything, even Sauce Gardner. It's unlikely that they're going to get a Sauce Gardner with one of these picks, given that the Colts will be drafting in the 20s or 30s. So I don't like this trade. I get that the Jets want to rebuild, but Gardner and Quinnen Williams could have been part of the rebuilding process. Gardner's only 25, Williams 27. They're both fairly young. It's not like they're 30, 31, 32. Then I completely understand it. But they're young players. They could be part of the rebuilding. I just don't understand what the Jets are doing. They just it feels like they're giving up. I like compared it to a zebra in the savannah, just like going down on the ground because the lion's chasing after it, just gives up. Like that, it feels like the Jets just gave up. So I don't like these moves for the Jets. I gave the Jets a C here, and I don't think I told you the grade for Quinnen Williams. I gave the Jets a D for the Quinnen Williams trade. So we had a couple more trades, I believe. We had another receiver trade. The Jaguars got Jacoby Myers from the Raiders for 4th and 6th round picks. So this trade may not work out because there's unfamiliarity with Myers going to the Jaguars, whereas Rashid Shaheed is familiar with Kubiak's system. So this is a little bit different. I don't like this trade for the Jaguars very much. I like Myers as a player, not so much a fantasy player, but a real-life player. He just doesn't drop passes. He's a really reliable number 2 receiver, possession guy, and he's panned out with almost every quarterback he's played with. The problem is, I don't get why the Jaguars are really buyers here. They don't have a good defense. It's ranked 21st. They don't have a good offensive line. They've allowed the 8th most pressures in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence has struggled. This team is just not that good, despite the record being 5-3. I don't I didn't consider them buyers. So I'm kind of surprised by this move. I don't think this is going to solve their issues at all. Now they could make the playoffs maybe, but they're going to be one and done if they do. I don't like this move so much. I give them a C. For the Raiders, they had to move Myers. He's a veteran. The Raiders are rebuilding, or they have to at least rebuild. So getting rid of Myers for 4th and 6th round picks, I think that's the best they could have gotten for him. So I give him an A. And the final trade for today, the Cowboys got Logan Wilson from the Bengals for a 7th round pick. Nice move for the Cowboys here. Again, Logan Wilson's a really good player, especially against the run. Coverage is not so good, but he's not terrible either. So the getting a 7th round pick for a linebacker who's going to help stop the run, which has been a very weak spot for the Cowboys, I think it's a really good move. So no risk at all here. So I love this. It gave the Cowboys an A. For the Bengals, not really sure what they're doing here. Logan Wilson is, he's going to be 30 soon, but this is not a rebuilding Bengals team. Like, they're going to get Joe Burrow back soon. And once they do, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, or at least if they fix a couple issues with their defense. Their defense is atrocious, but like if they nail a couple picks in this upcoming draft, suddenly their defense is not going to look that bad, and they're going to have Burrow leading that offense. They're going to be in the mix for the Super Bowl. So like, why trade Logan Wilson for nothing? I know they drafted Demetrius Knight in the 2nd round this past draft, but Knight has looked terrible this year. Wilson is much better. At least for the short term. So I give the Bengals a C-. Not really sure why they did this. So those are the grades for all the trades today. Let me know what you think. Am I completely off on some of these grades? Let me know what you think about these trade grades. Otherwise, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of NFL content every single day. And I will talk to you in the next video.